Took a shower for this.
All right. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kristina Mossgraber. I'm the Director of Education and Community Outreach at NAMI Rochester. And today I have the pleasure of sitting down with the Honorable Jack Elliott. Judge, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm the Honorable Jack Elliott, coming to you live from my living room. I hope you're all enjoying the pandemic.
I don't know if anybody's really enjoying the pandemic, but we're gonna hope they are.
Gotta make the best of it.
You got to make the best of it. That's right. That's what we do, is just make the best of it. Awesome. So today we're going to talk a little bit about mental health court and treatment courts, and just kind of mental health in general, and maybe some coping strategies, Judge, that you might have during this time. Because I think one thing that's really happened, at least for me during this pandemic, is it's made us all realize how we have more in common than not. So I think by us sharing our ideas and our thoughts, we can all learn from each other. So I guess the first thing I'd really like to start with, I have the pleasure of working with you and your team, and I know about mental health court, but would you mind telling everybody watching exactly what mental health court is and what it does for people?
All right. For those of you that don't know, I'm the judge who presides in mental health court. I've been doing it since, I think I took it over in 2011. So I'm in my 9th year of mental health court. I also preside in drug treatment court. Mental health court's a model kind of like modeled after drug treatment court. Someone gets arrested or in trouble, and pretty much the DA and the defense attorney and the judge, wherever the court case starts, they kind of figure this person probably wouldn't have done this had it not been for their mental health issues that could use some addressing. And so they send them to me, and I have people enter a contract with me. They have to take a plea. You have to admit that you did something wrong. And they enter a contract with me. And basically, if they go through the program and they fulfill their end of the contract, which pretty much means get the help treatments as you need, take the medication you need, go to the appointments you are scheduled for, don't get arrested again. You fulfill the contract, you get what we call in the law a sweet deal. Some people, we try, if people don't have a criminal record, we try and make sure they are allowed to withdraw their plea and come back and leave our court without a criminal record. That's always good. If they have a lengthy criminal record, then they get a sentence where they don't get any more jail. They never go into the jail again if they do the right thing. And it's a combination of treatment, encouragement, trying to just kind of give people a chance to turn things around and get back on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, that, NAMI Rochester, we're a huge supporter of the treatment courts, and so grateful that, we can help you out and do anything we can. Can you just tell us too a little bit more about maybe other community resources or things that can help people get back on their feet, or things you might use in your court, that people use in conjunction with the supports they get through treatment court?
Well, there's a lot of different places, NAMI being one of them. The Mental Health Association is another great resource. They have a lot of creative wellness programs over there that are great. Recovery Fitness is another great resource. They're great people over there. I try and tailor like who's the right person to send where. And Recovery is great because they're a lot like NAMI in that they take people as they are. No judging goes on. They're just welcoming. They make everyone feel comfortable. And for the person who likes outdoor activities, that's a great place. I mean, there's so many different supports in the area that, a lot of the times we ask people to go to support groups that they go to, and everyone thinks support groups, they got to go to NA or AA or something like that. For me, a support group is anything that helps you in your recovery, anything that helps you continue on the right path. I really don't care what it is. It can be going to your hairdresser that talks to you and makes you feel better. I do have to be able to verify it if you're in my court and I say, if you tell me, oh, my hairdresser is my support person, well, they better write me a letter and let me know, yeah, Kristina came in and got her haircut last week. So, I mean, I try not to pigeonhole anybody into anything. I like them to find out what it is that helps them in their recovery or helps them in finding their little path to mental health and wellness. And, but I do require, we can't do this alone. And there's so many organizations that help us.
Yeah.
So those are just a few that have come to my mind.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to the hairstylist being therapeutic. I'm missing mine, I'm doing my own home haircuts and I don't know how well that's going to go, but I really appreciate that, Judge, because, we are all in this together, right? We're all just, getting through the days together and supporting each other. And I appreciate very much how mental health court is tailored and how you work so hard to tailor it for the person. Is there any really specific length of time that people are in court usually, or what are the criteria for people to finish your court successfully?
In order to finish my court successfully in mental health court, you have to have what we call 12 or 6 honor rolls in a row, consecutive honor rolls, which means you've pretty much done everything you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. It takes a little while to get on the honor roll. And once you're on it, you have to have 6 in a row in order to be eligible to graduate. You have to have no new arrests for 12 months. So it takes at least a year. Mm-hmm. But you can't have any arrests for 12 months. You haven't used any drugs or alcohol for 12 months. And you have to have 6 honor rolls in a row. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes people, they get upset because they get like 4 honor rolls in a row and then they screw up and they kind of freak out. And so they think they're going back to square one. But we invented something called the parking lot, which it's like, we understand people are going to screw up. And if they stumble, what we try to do is measure, how do they respond to that? Because people are going to have a hard time. People are going to screw up. How did they respond? Did they turn into a lion sack and like try and, fool everybody and lie to us and not tell us? Or did they reach out, ask for help, get right back on track? Mm-hmm. And so if someone screws up after they have 4 in a row, we put them in what we call the parking lot. Mm-hmm. We give them a couple weeks to get going. And if within 2 appearances, they get back on track, we act like those 2 weeks didn't happen. And we just kind of put them back in their 5th and 6th consecutive honor rolls. So you have to have clean for a year, 6 consecutive honor rolls. That's pretty much it. You have to complete treatment. You have to have been taking your medications as prescribed. Do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. I find it takes anywhere from 18 to 20, 22 months as an average to complete the program. But once you're with us, you start out, you see me about once a week. Then after you're doing well, it goes to twice a week. And after you're doing really well, I see you about every 30 days. So it's really not that bad once you're kind of in the swing of it. Mm-hmm. So about 18, 22 months complete the program.
Okay. And I know from being in your court and from knowing you, I know how fair you are. And I know that those community resources come into play when people have setbacks. People come and they volunteer with NAMI, and I'm so fortunate and I feel so fortunate and grateful that you're always so creative and finding ways and really advocating for people. So with that though, I'd like to switch gears and talk a little bit more about you, because I know before you presided over mental health court, you were a public defender for a long time. And so I'm very curious what it was that drew you actually, to law, to be a public defender and then move on to oversee mental health court.
Well, what drew me to law was my dad was a teacher and he had 9 kids and he got up every day at 4:30 in the morning to deliver newspapers. Okay. And he painted houses in the summertime and he had a lawn business. He worked like a dog. Okay. So couldn't be a teacher. That looked tough. Probably would have been a teacher. But when I was a kid, I decided I was going to be a lawyer. Okay. Then my first year of law school, I'm sitting there and what comes on the national news? Rochester, New York, teachers got some kind of crazy pay raise. And I'm like, all right, do I go back and get my teaching certificate and have some off? But I decided to stay because I always said I was going to be a lawyer. And then I became a lawyer and I went into private practice. Really hated just about every minute of it. It was not fun. Mm-hmm. I left that, went back to baking cookies at Elite Bakery over on Atlantic Avenue behind East High School.
Yum.
Until I got into the public defender's office. And then I ended up once I got to the public defender's office, I was in the right place. It was a great job. Mm-hmm. All the work, you know, if you wanted real cool place to work, they let you work as long as you did your job. No one really bugged you. Uh, and you got to work for free. You didn't have to charge anybody, you know, and it was great. It was like,
Yeah.
it was helping people, and you're helping people that a lot of other people didn't want to help.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to meet everybody. Right? I mean, I knew the homeless people and the prostitutes and the drug dealers and the Supreme Court judges and it was just a fun job. And
Yeah.
it was a great experience. I loved every single minute of the public defender's office.
Mm-hmm.
But then I knew I was going to want to move on, and I looked around, and city court judge looked pretty cool. I knew I could still help people. And then when they created drug court, it was like, okay, that's really what I want to do. And when I ran, Judge Schwartz, who invented drug court, and then mental health court came along. He was running it the same year I was. He was up for re-election, and there was another judge running, and I was hoping to knock her off. And I campaigned saying I wanted to take Judge Schwartz's spot in drug treatment court. And I won. And soon after I took the bench, he started having me fill in for him. And I loved it. And then he had me take over mental health court first for a couple of years before he left. And then I took over drug treatment court.
Awesome.
And it's as close. I've never felt more like a judge than when I'm in the treatment courts.
Mm.
You know, everywhere, a lot of people in the legal world kind of look at these courts as they're, you know, hand holding. You're not really being a judge, but the decisions I make on a daily basis
Yeah.
have a profound effect on people, not just on the person in front of me, but on their parents, their kids, their friends. I mean, decisions I make, someone could walk out that door and die that night. And so I never feel more like a judge than when I'm sitting in treatment court.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, the decisions I have to make every day. And I don't know how I do it. People say, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know.
When it's the right fit, it's the right fit, right? You just do it. And, you know, again, you're fair. And I appreciate so much everything you do for the community and the people in your court. And it's just such a pleasure to work with you, you know, in so many ways. So,
thank you. And I appreciate all NAMI does for us, from the peer-to-peer group, and just knowing I can send people there. That's one of the most comforting things, is to know I can send someone to your organization.
mm-hmm.
And they're going to be welcomed, and they're just going to be helped. They're going to be made to feel important.
Yeah, thank you for that. And, you know, we take our lead from you. You know, you help them feel important in your team and your staff, and we want to honor that too. And that's how we treat everybody who comes to our doors. So mental health court participants are just another part of our big extended NAMI family. So tell me, Judge, what are you doing to enjoy life during this quarantine time and this physical distance?
What am I doing? I'm walking a lot, not enough. I have to make dinner for 7 people every night because I got every kid we have and one boyfriend living with us. We got the yard mulched.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been planning to clean the garage, but I haven't done that. Playing some golf. Let's see, what else am I doing? Watching a lot of TV at night. That's it. Shopping for my dad. I got to go shop for my dad because he's 94. He can't go out. So I go shopping for him. In fact, that's what I'm going to do as soon as we're done here, is head to Wegmans.
Oh, that'll be an adventure.
Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. What tips would you have for people, Judge, that might be struggling right now? What would you offer to them to keep on keeping on through this moment in time?
Well, I don't know if there's any people who are in front of me watching right now, but for those that are actually in my court, and this really works for everybody, these are tough times, and I get that. When we get back, if you've been having a hard time and things haven't been going as well as maybe we'd hoped, don't sweat that. All right. I would just ask people, if you're having a hard time, to reach out for help.
Yeah.
I mean, we all need it. I do it. I've been weird Zoom therapy sessions. That's really strange. But it's better than nothing. But if you're in front of me, do that. If you're struggling, reach out for help. Even if you think you've screwed up so much and I'm going to be mad at you, that's not the case. Okay. I understand what's going on, but I do want to hear you tried. And for everybody, the same. That goes for everyone, really. we're all struggling. It's hard. I mean, I have 4 adult kids living here and 1 boyfriend. We're lucky we've only had 2 explosions.
Just 2?
Just 2, and that's not bad given how long we've been together. But it's a lot of it's getting out and doing what you can. I mean, my kid just went out and skateboarded up and down the pier at Charlotte.
Gorgeous day for that.
Right. And so, but for people that are struggling, it's hard because I hear so many people, especially people of mine who I was on with a young lady yesterday with her attorney, and she has a stay at home. She has a curfew, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, I'm going nuts." So I just said, "Okay, let's get rid of the curfew for now, but behave." And she's a nice girl, and she's trying hard. So I'm trying to adjust to what we can. And if you're struggling, reach out for help. There's still organizations out there that can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And NAMI, we've been so fortunate to pivot some of our programming online, and we're still available electronically and offering some really new innovative programming, which is cool. So I think that's such an important message for everybody. Just reach out. We're still there, and we are all struggling, right? We're all in this together, and this is an unprecedented moment in time that no one could have ever really anticipated, right? So we'll keep on keeping on together and reach out and know the supports are there. Okay, so my second to last question for you, Judge, is tell us something really interesting about you. What's really one fun, interesting fact about you that our friends tuning in don't know?
I was on Stupid Petrix with David Letterman twice.
Twice?
With my dog Della. She chased a flashlight. I was on a regular show, and then I was on his 2nd anniversary show. I was invited back for his 2nd anniversary show.
Wow.
So there you go.
Are these on YouTube or something we can all check out?
They're not on YouTube. I guess I could put it on YouTube, but I do have a copy of it in my office.
All right. Well, when we're back, I'll have to make sure I come see you and check that out.
Just wear a mask.
I sure do. So Judge, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk with me and to talk with our viewers. And so I know that NAMI Rochester is committed to starting this mental health revolution, to changing the narrative and continuing to really, lead the charge in changing people's attitudes about living with mental illness and substance use and suicidal thoughts or actions. So I have to ask you, Judge, you are in this with us and you're part of the mental health revolution. Why have you joined the mental health revolution with us?
Well, for everything you just said, I mean, what I realized when I first started doing this court, I mean, you've sat in my court a million times. And when I first started doing it, because I screw around a lot, I have fun, I joke. And a lot of times I realize, oh my God, I might be the first person that's actually joked with this person. And you can see they just appreciate it. It's like, and it's like, I don't think I do anything special in my court. People say, oh, you're so good at it. And I just treat people decently. Treat them like they're just regular people.
That's right.
Because they are. They're just regular people who happen to have an illness, and that's what I try to get across to people. And we all have it in our family. Everyone does. You don't care who you are. You have it.
That's right.
Right. And to be ashamed of it or to hide it or not talk about it, I think makes it worse. So the reason I joined the mental health revolution, as you put it, is because I just think people should be treated decently. They're just people.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do in my court is I try to have a good time, make sure people understand they're cool with me as long as they do what they're supposed to, and try and understand. You've been in my court. People have done some crazy stuff in front of me, and you got to understand, okay, maybe they're having a hard day.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff happens in my court that other judges get pretty upset about, but you got to understand where they're coming from.
That's right. Meet people where they're at, right?
Right. And so that's why I joined it, I think.
Awesome. Thank you again so much, Judge.
Well, thanks for coming to my home.
I'm so excited. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We're so grateful to have had you with us. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Judge Elliott. For more information how you can get involved, if you're looking for supports from NAMI, continue to check our social media. You're on our Facebook page right now. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or you can email info@namirochester.org. Reach out if you need us. We're here for you. And thanks again for joining us today. Take care.
That's all.